super excited to show this webinar because SEO is probably my favorite thing in digital marketing, and it's kind of what I first got started with in the very beginning. And today we're just going to be going through everything that's involved with SEO and what you should be doing for your fencing or decking business specifically to rank higher on Google, and to get more leads. So we're going to be covering a lot of stuff. This is kind of a preview. There will be more than this, but we're going to be talking about the Google algorithm. They're constantly changing it, and this year has been, or sorry, I guess last year, last couple of months have been crazy with algorithm changes. It was nonstop, a lot due to AI. So we're going to be talking about the updates there and kind of show you a timeline of what was involved with these algorithm changes. And then also, it's a really good idea to kind of audit your current setup with SEO. If you've done SEO a long time ago, some of the things that you've been doing could be actually hurting you. There's a lot of different things that worked, many years ago, but aren't working now. So we'll talk about that. And then the main thing is going to be all about your website and optimizing it. So we'll be talking about everything related to, optimizing your website. All right, if you would, I got to do this as well. If you wouldn't mind just turning off and putting your phone on Do Not Disturb, I'd appreciate it.
If I
This
wanted
stuff
to do the same thing with a paragraph, I essentially use a paragraph and then
in there. If you could, there's a lot of stuff we put a lot of time in here to make sure we get actually deliver something that's actually gonna be of use to fencing and decking business owners. So if you could put it on Do Not Disturb, I'd appreciate it. And let's get into it. All right, so first things first, who am I and why should you even bother listening to me, which is always a good idea to make sure you're actually learning from a good source. So I'm Alex Danner and the founder of Fence and Deck Marketers, which, as the name suggests, is a digital marketing agency that only works with fencing or decking companies. And I've been doing SEO, digital marketing, a really long time. SEO, like I said, is always been one of my favorites and something I spent a bunch of time on. But I've been involved with, sorry, I'm just going to mute a couple of people here. But I've been doing website development. That's where I got started in. So all kinds of things related to digital marketing. And I want to start Fence and Deck Marketers because I used to work with every type of company and wanted to specialize in one and was getting good results with fencing and decking. So decided to go that route. Also have property in Pennsylvania, 500 acres, and over half of it's high deer fence. So there's always storms and stuff breaking fence. So I'm no stranger to fixing fences and putting up new ones. Also just have a lot of respect for these industries because I know it's really tough work. Also, as you can see there, the podcast, we started doing that several months ago. So if you're ever curious and want content on the go, we do make these webinars as audio files. It's of course better here because you'll see the visuals, but we make all these webinars as audio files for the podcast, and then we also do other types of podcasts, including interviews with industry experts. So there's a lot of good stuff on there too. All right, so like I said, we only do work with fencing and decking business owners. We are going to be focusing on SEO today, but website development, pay-per-click, social media ads, Facebook ads, we do those as well. So if you're curious, just say something in the chat or reach out. And if you want me to go through your website, I see we have a couple of clients that are on the call. But if there's anybody else or if they wanted to as well, that's fine. But if you want your website to be audited, put that in the chat. I see Sam. Welcome, Sam from Austin, Texas. And Daniel, super excited. We just got started with him out in Tennessee. But if you want me to look through your website, feel free to put that in there and I'll kind of audit it in real time and go through it. All right, so kick it right off. I want to explain the different principles of our omnipresence marketing system, which is going to be all about getting your business seen and then converting those into customers. So the first principle is going to be, actually getting seen and maximizing the opportunities, which is what the SEO will be focused on today. You got to get more people, you got to get in front of more people, getting more, sorry, Glenn X, I just asked to unmute, but I was just muting you there. We want to get more leads, more calls, generating more business. So that's what the maximizing opportunities is all about. And SEO is all about. SEO is just an opportunity. There's other opportunities digitally and otherwise, offline. You're going to have your Google ads, Facebook ads, anything related to social media. And then there's also plenty of offline ones, billboards or signs, any print marketing. but you got to maximize those opportunities and get enough people coming in to keep the business and the engine running. So the second thing, which we're not going to be touching on too much today, but we have in other podcasts, is going to be, how to maximize your brand impressions, meaning people just need to see your business. So they say it takes, or the old advertising rule is, 7 people or 7 times somebody needs to see your business before they actually use it. Now it's crazy because everybody's bombarded with ads. If you've seen ours, I apologize, but everybody, there's a lot of ads running out there, and now it's more like 21 versus 7. So you got to get people seeing your business, and that's what's going to lead to more people coming in and more people calling you. And then the third one is conversion. So we get these people coming into our businesses. We have them reaching out. We have the brand impressions there. They understand the brand and know who you are. And then we want to get them on the website and actually convert them. So we'll be talking about this stuff with the SEO segment today, like how to maximize those conversions. And like I said, all these other aspects of digital marketing. If you want specifics on anything related to like pay-per-click ads, managing your website, Facebook ads, all that stuff, we have past webinars you can see on our website under the webinars page, just in case you're curious about that. All right. And I see Ryan's property projects. Perfect. So we'll go over that towards the end. And Sam too. I see you on here. Perfect. All right. Yep. We'll go through those at the end. Thanks for putting that there and being so brave. So I want to get, be as interactive as possible. Appreciate you guys taking the time. I want to get some, information from you too. Just curious, because there's a lot of opinions out there, especially if somebody's all about Google Ads, they might think SEO is not as important, or just curious what everyone thinks. So put a 1 in the comments if you think it still matters in the new year and it's as important as ever, or 2 if you think it's not as important and it's kind of lost some of its value over the past couple of years. All right. So of course I wouldn't be doing a webinar on this if it did matter, but the level that it does matter is, I think, the most important thing these days, because there are people that kind of say that it's, I guess, losing some traction. And there are some aspects to ads that are really picking up, like local services ads. But it is, I promise you, as important as ever. Can't even talk right now. And I'll show you why. So this is kind of a layout of where people go on Google. So right now, it is 67% of people go to the first 5 listings, the organic 5 listings. So the first top 3 in the map pack, and then the top 2 of the website results. So we're talking about here and here. This is the first time using this presentation, so I'm hoping you guys can see this green here. But the first 2 here and first 2 here. So that's going to be 67% of all the traffic goes there. And then 73% of all the clicks are going to be going to basically all the organic as a whole. So seeing those numbers sway between 30% of the ads, or 20 to 25 to 30, it depends on the search. But point being, with SEO, most people are going there, and Google, of course, will let you pay to get to the top in the ad section. You can see here, these are the local services ads, which are really good, especially for fencing, for decking. They're not quite there, but I'm hoping they will get there soon. And then you can also do pay-per-click ads that will show up right underneath these ads here. So that's where 20 to 30% of the clicks will go there. And to also kind of reiterate the importance, Angie, you can see them here, Yelp, all these huge websites are paying millions and millions and millions of dollars for SEO to get ranked there. So they're ranking at the top for a lot of different keywords because they're then selling those leads. So that's shows you the importance. These giant, hundreds of millions, if not billions, I don't even know, companies are spending, the bulk of their businesses just from, SEO and getting those leads that way. All right. So of course it still matters. And actually I have another kind of experiment that I'm curious about. When you're Googling something, say you're looking for someone to help out with your house, or maybe just looking for a restaurant, whatever. When you go to Google, put a 1 in the ad and 1 in the chat if you skip the ads and go straight to the organic, or if you sometimes put a 2 in the chat if you sometimes click on them and still use them. I'm just curious what other people are doing. Like that, Sam? Yeah, I'm the same way. I know how much it costs per click, so I'm usually pretty nice about not entering that or not clicking on that and costing them, whatever the click is for that. So okay, everyone's like me. I'm the same way. I just skip right over them. And I don't think that's really going to change because let me go back because Google's using local services ads, which look more enticing for sure, and they do work really well, by the way, mainly for fencing, but most people are skipping over them, so that's why SEO is so important. This is just an example of a client for 1 month during the off season. So not only giving you these stats, but give you like real time data of what you can expect. So this is basically a lead. We use a tool called What Converts that'll basically track all of the leads per source. So we track them, for SEO, for LSAs, leads from your Google listing, and then there's some other search engines here, which is going to be SEO too. So around 79% are from organic SEO. Of course, this can differ if you have a ton of a huge ads budget or your SEO is not on point. But in this case here, the SEO is doing really well, so that's why you're getting a lot. But you can increase your ad budget and get a ton of leads from LSA too. And 47 for 1 month, it's pretty solid, anyways. All right. I don't know. I guess that was a duplicate. Okay. So the biggest 4 changes with SEO, I want to go through those. The content is a huge one. So everybody's heard of AI, and basically, I'm going to be touching on that very specifically. But you want to have content that's well written. If you've ever used AI, it's amazing. It's created a revolution, but it's not creating the best possible content by any means. And you want to make sure you're actually writing content that is well written and edited properly. And then we're also going to talk about spammy backlinks for your website, talking about the physical office location, how important that is for ranking on Google Maps, and then also site speed. So we'll go into each one of these in more detail. So, all right, the content portion is huge. I'm always stressing this because it's so important, and you have to have the right foundation. But you need to have a separate page for every service that you offer. And it's important not to just think of them off the top of your head and create a page. Instead, you want to use actual keyword research tools to figure out what keywords people are searching in your area, and then create pages based off of that. So as an example, deck builders, a common one would be deck builder, composite decking, wood decking, Trex decking, fence contractors, fence company, vinyl fence, wood fence, chain link fence, every type of fence type that you do. Same with decks, have a separate page for that. Every one of those should be a separate page on its own because those specific keywords are searched separately. And then make sure they have enough content on there. 700 words or more of content is typically the benchmark there. And check your competitors if they have a lot more content than you might need more to. But to kind of paint a picture of how Google works and why the content's important, basically this is how Google views content for the most part. Say you're looking to install a fence, like a vinyl fence, or say there's just some new thing within your industry, some new technique or whatever for installing fence or some new material, whatever. This doesn't even have to be within fencing or decking, just something that you're some kind of informational source. If you have the option to choose from like a piece of paper, I always picture like IKEA things where you're putting furniture together or whatever. Sometimes they're just so bad. If you wanted that, or if you had like a full manual or even a book that goes through the whole process in very clear and concise detail and includes images, includes everything you could want. Of course, in that instance, you're going to want the one that's more content on it, more detailed. And that's kind of how Google looks at it. They want to find the pages that serve the user the best, have the most content on it. To an extent, you can't just blast content, have 10 pages of AI fluff. You got to be strategic about it. But in general, they want to see more content, something that's going to help the user out, keep them on the page longer. And that's why you want to create, these separate pages, but include, nice detail in them. Some ideas for these service pages to make them really stand out. You can talk about the different styles you have as an example for fencing. If it's the style might be picket or privacy, post and rail. If it's for say you're only doing Trex or you do TimberTech or Fibron, having pictures of the different colors of boards and type of boards they do. That's a really good idea. That'll keep them on the page longer and more likely to use you. Especially if your competitors are doing that and you're not, and they find that page, they want to see the different options. So that's a really good idea. Talk about the installation process, what they can expect, why they should choose your company, and kind of the pros and cons of the fence material. If you're talking about wood, like all the maintenance issues, or vinyl, much more maintenance free. FAQ section. So I'm sure you've all heard, common questions that people ask. So putting that in FAQ section, and then of course putting actual images of past jobs you've done. Taking pictures of every job is super important, and putting those on the website is a really good idea. From here, service pages are done. Then you want to go into your actual city pages. So what these are basically a page for every city you do work in. So most companies, I typically hear, 25 to 50 mile radius around their business. And what we'll do is get a list of all those cities and rank them, in terms of priorities, and then have us start creating pages based off of each individual city. So you want to make sure every city that you do work in is a separate page. It should be unique content. And that'll help you rank in other areas, basically. And then the last thing, kind of touching back on the AI, well-written copy does matter. So you can use AI for a lot of things, to kind of get the juices flowing, get an outline, or even just write content to kind of give you some ideas. But you don't want to just focus on that, because it's not going to be as good as, well-edited content. At the end of the day, you're competing against competitors, and you want to make sure your pages are providing, more positive information that's helpful. So, really talking in those pages, talking about the technical language of the fence and pros and cons, like I was saying, talk about any kind of fears or considerations they might have in the process. Like maybe they're worried about their yard getting torn up and, materials left over, talking about that. Putting, contact forms on the page is a really good idea too. And then, showing off those reviews as well. So, okay. So backlinks, if you've never heard of them before, I want to make sure before I go into this, you kind of understand it. So basically a backlink is, I'm sure probably everyone's seen this. If you're reading some blog post or some article you just Googled, or something pops up on your phone, you click it, you're reading through a paragraph, and then you see a piece of text that's a different color and underlined, and you click it, and it goes to a completely different website. That's a backlink for the website that it goes to. So a backlink is a way that Google figures out who basically has authority and has a website that people are talking about. So if you have good quality backlinks to your website, it helps increase your rankings. And this is what you need to be doing, for your business. But it used to kind of be all about backlinks in, way back when. But since the Penguin update, this is a Google update, they addressed that, and now they basically just wiped out rankings of a lot of businesses that were cheating. There's these websites out there that you can get backlinks from they're called PBNs, and it's just a website that gives a backlink to literally everybody just for the purpose of ranking. And if you were getting backlinks from those websites, Google could have really hurt your rankings from that. So you want to make sure, if you've ever done that in the past, you're checking out your backlinks, and you want to review your profile, your backlink profile, using tools like SEMrush or Ahrefs, because that's how you're going to know if you have bad backlinks, and you need to tell Google to ignore them or disavow them, basically. So having someone go in there and checking out those links, I will say it's a little bit more of a technical thing. You want someone that understands SEO well, or at least, take the time to understand it. You don't want to just disavow everything without really knowing what that backlink is like and if it's reputable. But nowadays, you need to be checking wherever you get backlinks from. If you're working with an agency, make sure that they are going through reputable sources, and also not spamming anchor text. So an anchor text is basically that text that you click on that is the link. So if you're reading through a paragraph of text, you click on it and it goes to a website, whatever you clicked on, that's what's called the anchor text. People will kind of cheat, or they used to, and basically have a link for fence company in Baltimore, Maryland. They would have every single link is fence company, Baltimore, Maryland. Google picked up on that, realized it's spammy. So make sure that you diversify that and you have a SEO agency that really knows what they're doing, because that's a really big problem and something that's going to hurt you. And it can be really tough to regain that trust and get your rankings back. Okay, so the backlinks was kind of more technical one. This one is definitely not so much, but there was another update, the Pigeon update by Google, and this really addressed local map listings. So there's a lot of people out there that were trying to trick Google, and they have fake addresses, PO boxes, virtual offices, UPS stores. They were basically just fake addresses for ranking purposes, and Google removed like 5 million of them all at once and really crippled a lot of businesses that were cheating. So you need to make sure your business is using a legitimate address, and you can use a residential address. That is okay to use, but now Google is rewarding commercial addresses more and more. So I would highly recommend using commercial if it's possible. It doesn't have to be a fancy office whatsoever. In fact, I would just say get the cheapest possible thing you could find, as long as it has a door and a chair and a desk or something. That's fine. You just need to show an office, have a sign on there, and be able to show Google that that's actually your office. So it doesn't have to be fancy. But commercial is better. I think it's only going to go more towards that going forward. And they do require you, if you might have already done this, but before it used to be a postcard. It was nice and easy. So you just send a postcard and put in the code and then you're done. Now you have to do a video. So you have to verify by video, and that'll require you, showing the street sign and then showing yourself going to the building or the office, showing the sign there displayed, showing yourself unlocking the door and then going in. That's typically how we do it. But can be a pain. Usually is a pain, honestly, but that's how they're doing it now. But kind of the rule of thumb here with these different addresses, it used to be a lot easier to do this, to just rank anywhere. Now it's much harder. So what we recommend, instead of going the route of opening offices everywhere, we recommend like really exhausting all options in your home city, wherever your current Google listing is. For the main reason is it's going to be a lot more work on SEO on that side too. And then you're going to have to get more reviews for that listing too. So what I recommend is actually keeping that listing, and then you're making sure all the SEO is done right. You can run Facebook ads, Google ads around the areas you want to go to and generate leads that way, and kind of just exhaust, all options relating to ads first. And then from there, you can go the route of opening up additional locations. But I know how hard it can be to get reviews. That's probably the number one thing we struggle with clients, just because it is tough. If you have a whole other listing, you got to focus on both of them. So it just becomes a pain. So if you do go that route, I would definitely recommend you have your workflow set up and it's just dialed in for getting reviews. So that way you can get a lot really quick on that new Google listing. All right. So site speed, I'm not sure if anybody's ever checked their website speeds, but the primary objective of Google is to show, give them a good experience. So they want to show the best websites, and they know people want things fast. So you need to make sure that website speed is really quick. You can see here this link. This is how you can check it with Google's page speed tool. There's also one called Pingdom and GT Metrics. You can check those as well. Make sure you're checking on mobile too. Over 50% of all the traffic is mobile now. So you want to make sure that's done, optimized properly. And kind of the basic premise is everybody's impatient. They want to get the results quickly, get whatever they want really fast. So make sure those website speeds are quick. And let's see, this is getting into the weeds again, but I wanted to show this because it will be in the recording. So if you have a developer or somebody that understands some of this jargon, they can update it for your website. So a big way to do it, if you have a WordPress website, WP Rocket, that's what we use for WordPress websites. That will make it a lot faster, and it'll take care of a lot of these things in this list. I'm not going to go through them. Like I said, it's just something that a developer could take and run with. But images are really important. So if you're uploading images to your website, you don't want to take them right off your iPhone or Android and just upload them, because the file is humongous and that's going to slow down the page speeds. So you want to have some kind of tool to resize them. Like you can do it manually in Photoshop, or you can use a plugin like I think it's called Smush. That's on WordPress. That'll make it that'll lower the size of the image, which will load the page faster. And then your hosting, check where you're hosting. If you're using GoDaddy, I would definitely recommend switching. We use Flywheel. WPN is another one. There's a lot of good options out there, but yeah, GoDaddy, I've only heard bad things about it. Kind of the ranking factors with Google, there's a lot of them, but the click-through rate, the CTR, is a really big one. So people want, or Google pays attention to if people are clicking your website on Google or not. So the amount of times people click your website for a certain search is going to play a big part into how you rank. Because as an example, say somebody types in, you're trying to rank for best fencing company in Baltimore, best deck builder in Baltimore, or something like that. And people are consistently clicking your website and Google sees it and they're staying on the page. That's going to send a signal to Google like, okay, this fits that keyword. So having the meta title and description, which is basically what shows up on Google for your website. If you type in deck builder near me on Google, whatever you see under the map pack, that title that you click or that description, that's the meta title and description. Make sure that that fits the page and is enticing. They're also going to be checking out the scroll rate and how long they're on the page for. So if they're staying on the page for a while, that sends a good signal to them. So using things like video, good pictures, different options for deck boards and fence materials is a good idea. They'll measure that, and they'll also see if they're just jumping off the page. So if they see that they click on your website and then immediately jump off, that's the bounce rate. You don't want them doing that. That'll lower your rankings. Google loves brands now, so this is a big one too. Back in the day, and I still see this all the time, people will want to have a URL for like fencingcompanybaltimore.com. I get emails quite often about this because there's a lot of people out there that sell domains. I'm sure everybody here has probably seen one. They sell a domain basically just like that for your city, and it's pointless. There's no reason to buy it whatsoever because Google wants to see a brand now. They want to see, the name of your company, ABC Fencing or whatever it is, versus something like that. So building your brand, that's what they're looking for. They picked up on that, so it doesn't work anywhere close like it used to. And citations, if you've never heard of those, basically it's your business name, address, and phone number that's on different websites on the internet. So you've probably seen like Yelp or Angie's List or Facebook. It has your business name, address, phone number. That's a citation. There's hundreds and thousands of them. So you need to make sure your information is correct. If you ever moved offices or changed phone numbers over the years, you want to make sure those aren't current. You want to make sure it's only showing, your business information. And also, we talked about the links. Make sure you're not getting spammy links. That's important. And also reviews is a really big ranking factor too. It's like 19% of the entire ranking factors for the map section are reviews. So if you have no reviews, you're really going to be set back, not only with the ranking factors, but also just looking better. If your competitors have more reviews, that's a problem. So make sure to get as many possible reviews as you can. So Google did this update a while back, a couple years ago, called EEAT, and it stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And it's basically a system with Google to understand content with websites and to figure out who should rank higher. So you want to make sure your website is set up to properly work with EEAT. And what I mean by that is, first one, experience. Google wants to make sure that the people that are writing content or have a website or they're showing actually have experience in what it is that it's about. So showing people that you have firsthand personal experiences with something is a great idea. And that's what we all do with our websites, showing off past jobs you've done, having an about us page that talks about the team. And that's what they really want to show, either experience or expertise. So the expertise was kind of added later. Experience was added later. Expertise was earlier. But this is basically, they want to see that people have experience in some or they know some subject matter really, really well. So as an example, to somebody that really understands a topic, even though they don't have firsthand experience, that can also work. Kind of like, an agent marketing agency that works with fencing or decking, but even though I am, but not consistently putting up fences or decks, something like that. But it's best to show expertise or experience, with the owner of the business and showing that on the website. And the best way to do that is to have an About Us page, but also your blog posts, make sure the blog posts are being written by the owner. They can be written by an agency, but make sure the posts are actually showing as written by the owner, and having a bio page for the owner that shows about their credentials, experience, all the stuff that they know about fencing or decking. That's going to be really help you out. And next, with the authoritativeness piece of this. So this goes back to backlinks. You want to see that basically people are talking about your website, and industry experts or influencers are talking about your website, then that's going to show more authority to Google. And also, if you ever got interviewed, or you maybe wrote in like some kind of publication in fencing or decking, if you can show that to Google that you're an authority source, that'll help in this authority piece too here. And trustworthiness, this is all going to be about, reviews. So they want to show that you can show testimonials, having a widget that shows off reviews that you've done, that'll link to like your Google reviews. That's a really great idea. Showing that your website's secure, making sure you have it's called SSL enabled. I'm not sure, you've probably been to a website that says not secure at the top. That's because SSL is not enabled. So enabling that's going to add more trustworthiness too. So at the end of the day, this is all important because rankings, if you're not satisfying Google's changes, it's going to affect your rankings. So you want to show that it's trusted, it's secured, you're recommended, and then have that good content that's going to help with those rankings. So here is how you can improve EEAT. So the first piece is going to be experience. So personal experiences, anything you've done, past jobs that you can share with them, past decks or fences you built. Also, citing sources, like I said, if you've written in other high publications within the industry, you can cite that. Having good keyword research is crucial for this, experience and expertise. You want to make sure that you do proper keyword research for your industry, so you're ranking for the right pages and your website set up properly, and having that content that's actually going to be useful to somebody. You don't want to just write something to write something. You want to think about like what would give the user the best experience. What is something they typically ask that you can deliver and show them, and also answer that question so you don't have to answer as much on the phone. That'll have them more willing to go from that point. Authoritativeness, link building, like I said, using social media is a really good idea. Posting, always say, posting videos is the best idea. If you can have someone that can do that consistently for your business, that's a great idea. And trustworthiness, kind of touched on this, need to use SSL for your web domain, make sure it's secure, having good reviews, consistently getting them, a privacy policy for the website, and just being consistent with everything across the internet. All right, so this is a big one that everybody's talking about, ChatGPT. I want to make sure really clear about, the great, I guess, opportunity it brings, but also the limitations and really what you should be worried about, I guess. So it is true, AI is awesome. I'm sure if you've ever played with it, it's amazing. It's really cool what they're doing. But with SEO, you just don't want to use it to just write all your content and that's it, because it's not going to create high quality content. And high quality content in the eyes of, people that know, I guess, the difference, that if you're comparing other, like certain content from AI to somebody that wrote a custom piece on another website, Google is going to be able to understand that. So you want to make sure you're not just writing it with AI and kind of calling it a day. You want to edit it heavily. So if you do want to use AI, you can, You just only want to use it, kind of get ideas or maybe a guideline, get the juices flowing, get your brain spinning. Um, and then it's going to save you some time, but you just don't want it to say, okay, hey, AI, write me a service page for vinyl fence, and then just throw that page on there. It's not going to make any sense. It's not going to be specific to your business. There are tools to get AI to learn your business, which, trust me, we've experimented with constantly, and it is better, but it just is never going to be the great result that you want, to get the best results in rankings. So that's kind of it. It's great for overview, but you want to have, that manual keyword research process, and within your content should be based off of those keywords. So AI can kind of do that, but again, it's not great. You want to make sure that the content has the right keyword density. So if you have a vinyl fence page, it's mentioning vinyl fence many times throughout, and that'll lead to better rankings. AI is just not going to get it by itself. So also ChatGPT, Bard, kind of the same deal. You can use it. Google allows it. It's not like they say you can't use it. But what we've seen and what we've heard from other agencies, we don't do this, but people that are testing this, other colleagues that we have in the industry, they see that like purely AI content sometimes just doesn't get crawled and indexed, so it's not on Google. So it's just not a good idea at this point. All right, so here's kind of the new SEO formula, what you should be doing to get the best results with SEO. So first things first, you should always be doing keyword research. So you never want to say, all right, I'm a fencing company, I do this, and just kind of going off memory. And even if you write down every service you do, you want to put these keywords into some kind of tool to let you know what people are searching specifically in your area. So there's all kinds of tools for this, some free ones, Google Keyword Planner, the Uber Suggest is a free one. There's paid ones like we use, SEMrush, Ahrefs, Sprite Local. But you want to figure out those keywords, the services you do, and then figure out the keywords that are associated with them. So you're doing that right. The website's just got to look pristine. It's got to beat out competitors. There's no reason why you should have a website that doesn't beat out competitors, because it's a one-time thing. You get it built, have someone that knows what they're doing, and you're going to have a website that's going to look better than competition, and give you that extra leg up. So on the website, it needs to look great, have pages for every service, every city you do work in, optimize it for user experience, make sure you have good calls to action so people have no problem figuring out how to contact you. You don't want to like hide phone numbers on the website. You want to make them nice and big in the top right corner. We animate them, and that'll make it so it's in their eye as they're scrolling. Contact forms, good idea too. Putting those towards the top of the page so they can fill out that. Making sure the header is sticky, so as you scroll, it should bring the header down with it. Blog posts, so get the service pages created, the city pages, and then from there, blog posts you want to start doing every month. If you have the bandwidth, you can do them, at the same time. And this is going to be getting more in the weeds here, but I'll say it just so you have it's on record in the recording. When you're updating a site for SEO, what's called the on-site optimization, you want to make sure whatever displays on Google for every page is enticing. So the meta title, the meta description, that's what actually displays on Google. That should, get people to click. It should look better than what you're seeing from competitors. And we already talked about the authority, get some more backlinks. You don't want spammy backlinks, displaying the reviews on every page of the website. And then make sure you're tracking results. You have to be tracking your keywords to see how they're improving over time. Testing new things. That's the only way you're going to really improve. Using tracking tools like What Converts or CallRail. That's going to allow you to really dial in the specific types of marketing you're doing and what's working best, because it'll have a separate phone number for every single service that you do, marketing service. So you can have a separate phone number for all the SEO leads, the Google business profile leads, your LSA leads, your Google ads. Everything can be a separate number. So that's really, really important to do too. All right. So we kind of talked about this. The keywords that you're using for every page, you want to have, a primary keyword. If it's a vinyl fence page, vinyl fence is going to be the primary keyword. fence company page, fence company will be the primary, or deck builder will be the primary. That should be in the title, the meta title and description, like we said, but it also should be in the H1, which is the HTML. If you ever heard of HTML, they have a system for headers, H1 through H6, I think it is. There should only be one H1 on the page, and that should have the keyword in it. And name, address, phone number, super easy. It's just, you want to make sure your business name, address, and phone number are in the footer and the contact page of your website. And that's so basically Google can link your website to your Google listing. So that's how they kind of link them. And we talk about content, you got to use legitimate content, put images on there. You know, a gallery for each page is nice if you can do it. Having nice video. We know we've seen some really good drone videos. I know Daniel on here has been using them. And I think Chad is too. But if you have a drone and somebody that knows how to do that, that's excellent. They look really cool and will definitely keep them on the page longer. So definitely something good to take advantage of. And you can use that for social media. So using the drone to show off different jobs. They're fun to drive. I have one too. So getting some nice video is a really good idea. And it's only going to get more important with this. You know, this isn't going anywhere. That's why TikTok is killing it, because video is what people want to see. So the quicker you can kind of get that edge with video, the better off you're going to be. And it's not going to be something you regret and think this is going away. You know, it's just going to get more bigger and bigger. All right. So the keywords, these are just some of them, like I said, and it depends on your area. You want to do this for your area. But in marketing, you know, there's a marketing funnel basically. So you have the top, bottom, and middle. The bottom is going to be the people that are really ready to make a decision. You know, when they type in fence company near me or deck builder near me, or, you know, Baltimore, Maryland, fence companies, these are going to be your bottom of funnel. These are the people that are ready to go. So your service pages should be optimized around these keywords, because these are the ones that are going to convert more. And depending on your area, you might have some of these add-ons like near me or in my area, family owned. You can check these out to see, you can add these to the keywords that you see here to see if they're being searched in your area more. That'll, you know, be solved in the keyword research phase. But the middle of the funnel, and this is a big thing, because basically a common thing with, you know, marketing is to track traffic to the website, and you should be doing that, tracking it through Google Analytics, but it doesn't tell the whole story, because you could be doing a million blog posts and building backlinks to them and answering every possible question about fencing or decking and getting this tons and tons of traffic, which is not a bad thing, let me be clear. But those aren't converting people. You know, if they're middle of the funnel or top of the funnel where they're like researching and trying to figure out what they want to do, that's not going to lead to that call, like, you know, these bottom of the level, bottom of the funnel keywords. So you want to make sure these pages are set up for the top funnel. You can answer questions in the blog post. That's still a good idea, but you want to make sure the biggest priority is ranking these keywords, because this is what's going to lead to more leads. All right, so getting pretty close to the end here, I believe. So on-page SEO, what we were just talking about, is everything that's on your website, everything related to the content. Off-page is going to be the things that are done behind the scenes. So big thing is, you know, your Google listing, make sure that's claimed and optimized. Make sure you're getting reviews. You know, I always say the rule of thumb is like you want to get to 30 at kind of a minimum as fast as possible, and then build on those from there, because the more, the better. There's no reason to think that, you know, less reviews is going to be better. So keep that review rating high, above 4, but 4.5 to 9, something like that. You know, 5 is good too. But make sure you have that set up. Make sure it's optimized. Make sure all your services are entered into it. Make sure your service areas are entered into it. You add pictures, an entire thing. Make sure you have it covered. Also, if you want to get help with reviews, there's different tools out there like Grade.us or Grade.us, Bird Eye, Review Buzz, One Podium. These tools can help you get more reviews. Also, Nice Job, that's one I see a lot. So getting reviews this way will make it easier. And then, you know, get those backlinks from other websites. That's going to be, you know, really critical too. just to kind of give you an example of some websites that are doing well and kind of showing you the why they're doing well and why these are ranking better. So if you kind of look at these, this is just in Tampa, just a random search, but you have basically these listings here. You can see they have good reviews. They're over 30. 4.3 is, should be higher than that, but it's not terrible. Make sure they all have their listings verified clearly, or they wouldn't show. They all have them optimized. That's why they're ranking well. They have good reviews. They have their citations set up properly. So they're using a tool like Yext to get those citations, or Bright Local. That's how you can set up those citations. And then also the link profile, they're using good links. You're not going to rank in the website rankings here without some good links. And you can also see they include the keyword in the website results. So Tampa Fence, or Fence Pro Tampa Bay, Fence Company Tampa, that's probably one of the better ones. Tampa Fence, that's probably what we searched here, is they're going to be ranking really well for Tampa Fence regardless, because they have that that's the name of the business. But you can kind of see these other ones that aren't so specific. They have Fence Outlet here. They have Fence Company Tampa, installation, repair, things like that. It looks good. Thanks, Sam, for putting this in here. Let's keep going through it. All right. So first thing, let's see here. So it looks like you're doing a good bit on Instagram. All right. Well, the first thing I would recommend doing is I like to be blunt and honest, so I'll just give you the good and the bad. I won't just critique it. If there's good stuff, I'll tell you too. But the website design is definitely outdated. Let me see if it's mobile friendly. I'm not sure. I'd have to check on my phone if it's mobile friendly or not. But make sure it's mobile friendly if it's not. The services, let me see here. So you want to make sure you have those, like we've been talking about here. You have the separate pages set up. Let me do a quick search to see. Okay, so it's a one-page site. So you want to have those additional pages created like we were talking about. If these are your services, then you want to do some keyword research off of these. Deck Builder, like I said, is a big one. Deck Design also is. Pergola is a good one too. All of these separate in individual pages and put them in the header up here so they can access it from the services menu. Have the phone number. Ideally, what I like to do is have it in the top right, because people, when they read a website, they did studies on this. They do like a Z pattern. So they'll kind of scan the top and then they'll cut back here. So what we see is the logo. That's fine to have there, but have the phone number up here and have the menu just beneath that with all the services there. So the About Us page, you can keep this here, put this on an About Us page. That'll be great. You could add a little bit more on there. I like these pictures. These are good to get kind of some family pictures. I would keep the family pictures on the About Us page for the most part. And then let's see the projects. Okay, nice. You have pictures of the webs, or the jobs you've done. That's great. Having a gallery is a really good idea, and having a gallery on individual pages. So as an example, like pergolas, you could put the image on a specific pergolas page and have a gallery for each one of those. So you're using Trex and TimberTech. So TimberTech isn't searched that much compared to Trex. So having a Trex decking page is a really good idea. Because pretty much everybody seems to know that brand. This is pretty cool. You did this. I'm not sure if these are really cool. If you did these look awesome. These jobs you're doing here. Looks like you're doing some cool stuff. So yeah, you got plenty of images to show off. I would this isn't too bad. I've never really seen it like this, honestly. Typically people like to see a little bit bigger images. So I mean, I don't know. I've never seen that before. It's kind of cool, but I'd personally like to see a bigger image, a little bit easier to see, but especially if you can't click on it. So yeah, if you can't click on it, then that's gonna be a problem, because you won't be able to see a bigger version of it. All right, and the service pages we talked about, create those city pages. So where is this located? Unless I'm just missing it. Not sure where you're. I saw Sam say, give it to me straight. Where are you located, Sam? Unless it's on here and I'm just blindly missing it. Oh, you're in Austin. Okay, Austin. All right, cool. So yeah, make sure you have let me see if you have a Google listing. Okay, good. You have a Google listing. Excellent. And this is the right one. Let's make sure. Yeah, figured it was. You have 60 reviews, so you're well on your way of getting that 30. Getting some more reviews would be South Austin, Texas. Okay, no, I'm assuming this is it, but this is good. You're using a physical address. This is another thing. If you're not displaying an address on the Google listing, you're gonna get lower results. So the fact that you're doing that's great. I would just add all of this into the footer. I don't know, something's broken here. I'm not sure, but you want to have a footer on the website, and then put Uncle Sam's Deck Builder, put the address there, put the phone number in the footer, and that way it'll display on every page of the website. Yeah, more content on here. I mean, I would recommend, I see you using Wix. This is just a rule of thumb. Google likes WordPress websites better. We'll say they're harder to build than Wix. I mean, I guess it's more user friendly with a Wix. Well, in my opinion, it's not. But if you're just kind of creating it on your own, then Wix tends to be easier, I've heard. But Google just doesn't like them as much, and they don't really let you customize as much stuff on them. They don't typically end up being better looking websites. So if you can, I don't know if I think I you said you created this. So if you can learn WordPress and build that way using and another side note, use Elementor. That's the easiest way to build a WordPress website. Hello Elementor is the theme we use. So those are kind of the main foundation you need to build a website with WordPress. But I would check that out if you don't want to hire somebody, because just having a well-built website that's optimized properly is going to go a really long way. Let's see if there's anything else I can give you on here. Think. I mean, there's some other things, but those are kind of the main foundation pieces. Just the content, the separate pages. Did you start adding blogs? Okay, so maybe this was part of the blog piece here. So yeah, doing what we do is 2 blog posts every month, typically around 700, 800 words or more. Oh, you said you're struggling with WordPress. Yeah, I will say it's tougher. I remember when I was like first trying to figure it out. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there, but I know it can be a pain because there's always just something that's a little bit different than what you want. It doesn't match up perfectly. But if you want kind of like the foundation, if you want to go the WordPress route, so let me know and I can send you kind of like the tools that we use if you want to go the route of building yourself. Carousels. I saw you were talking about that. We typically don't like carousels that much because it kind of confuses Google, because if you remember, I was talking about HTML headers. So they only want to see one H1 on the page. So if you're scrolling these different images and you've got all these headers on all these different pages, it causes problems with Google. It's not the end of the world if you have them, but we generally don't really recommend them. So, all right, I think that's kind of it. Yeah. So, I mean, a big call to action you have here, that's fine. Just make it a little bit bigger. And yeah, that should really get you going. That'll build the foundation that you need, just having those right pages for the business. So if you have any questions, let me know. Let me go to the next one here. So King of Kings fence here. This logo is hard to see, so I would brighten that up. Like I said, having the phone number nice and big is always a good idea. I'll give you kind of an idea of client website, what we do. Having the big phone number up there is what we like to see. So when you scroll, it always stays there. So having that big phone number is really important. And you got to think, like, there's going to be people that are older. The older people tend to have more money. So they might not be great with computers. So you want to make it really obvious how they contact you. You don't want to leave it up for interpretation or, give them any, reason that they can't reach out to you. These business here, let's see. Okay, so it looks like they don't have really separate pages for services. So they'll need to do that. This is kind of the same thing as Sam. And no problem, Sam. No, happy to help. Saw your message there. It just needs more content. This one's, it just doesn't really have much content. See, looks like they're doing some kind of blog post on here. Let's see what it looks like. No, it's not really a blog post. So not really doing a whole lot there. The About Us page, let's see. That's fine, having this. This website's just outdated, honestly. Let's see what it was created with. It was just another Wix website. You just want to have the design that really pops, honestly. I'm going to go on to another one because that's kind of more the same. Let's see if I can find one that's has a little bit more going on. Okay, so Allied Fence. Again, this website's just really outdated looking. It's not really popping. The header's not sticky, so people lose sight of the phone number. It is good that they have the phone number here. That's great. They have the separate pages, but there just needs to be more content. So there's a tool called Word Counter Plus. It's a Google Chrome extension. So I can count the words. There's only 89 words here. You want to have, 700 plus. I love the fact that they have a gallery. This looks good, especially they have the sign in there, the fence signs. That looks great. Let's see a couple other pages. You see they're separating ornamental iron. That's excellent. If you remember the HTML headings like I was telling you about, H1, they only have one H1 here. And then the H2s, H3s, they should have your keywords in them too. Not the greatest example here. Let's see. I want to go through ones that, let's see, I bet you'll find a better one here. All right, now we're talking Nortex, fence and patio. All right, so I love this gallery here. This is great. And what they're doing here is it looks like they created a separate page, the city pages I was referring to. So let me show you how that works. So they got, over 100 pages here. So they probably have city pages, I would imagine. They're doing blog posts. They're doing a lot of the right SEO stuff. So that's what you want to do is have, you can see here, Frisco, Texas, patio covers, Plano, Texas, fence contractor. So they're doing these service city pages for every individual service. And that's why, they're showing up on Google here. And that's what you want to be gunning for. You want to show up in the organic results because you're not going to rank in the map pack anywhere. You can rank like 5, 10. It depends on the area. If you're in the middle of, trying to rank in Dallas, you're not going to rank probably more than like 5 or 10 miles. But that's what you want to do is rank in these other areas. So I'm sure everyone here has heard of Superior Fence and Rail. They're a huge franchise and they do this nonstop. This is what they're doing. They have separate city pages and that's how they rank number one, even though they're all over the country. So that's what they're doing with the city pages, and that's what you'll want to do. These pages are a little bit light. I don't think it's quite 700, but they are ranking. And that's kind of also the deal. If you're building a lot of backlinks to these pages, you're not going to need as much content, but typically rule of thumb, 700 words. And this is also kind of what we were talking about. They have a fence page for, what's going on here? I don't know if something's broken here. Oh, that's just, okay, custom cedar fence. So they're doing some wood fences. Yeah, just thin, honestly. They should have a contact form on all these pages. They should be displaying reviews on every page. Yeah, content's just pretty thin. It's not really optimized well for conversions. The phone number is really small. I typically don't like to put the social media icons in the header because it brings them to a different page. You want to keep them on this website. Let's see what the rest of these are. Okay, so they're doing deck and patio. So separate these. Should not be deck and patio. It should be, deck builder and then patio, whatever the keyword is. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I think it's patio builder is the main keyword people type in. So that should be separate pages on here. They're doing a really, really good job with the images. So look excellent there. Another thing, they're not having the business information. You know, the NAP should say Nortex Fence and Patio, the address. They have the phone number. They're good there. These are really good if you have them. Putting these like little badges, I think they're called. You know, putting them towards the top of the page. That'll build some trust too. So let's see if there's anything else I can go through. Oh, let me check out their blog. Oh no, very good. I think they're doing a lot of blog posts. Let's see. Yep, January 18th. So they're doing one a month. Okay. Yep, that's good. Let's see how long they are. Oh, they got a table of contents. That looks good. So they probably have some kind of SEO company doing this, or that's usually the case. Okay, so they got a good word count. So they're doing the blog post well. This is what you should be looking for. At least have one image in there usually. You know, you don't have to have, this page doesn't have to look perfect like your service pages, but you know, put the blog post there every single month. And I just saw Sam 700 words on the homepage. So the homepage should describe, there's a couple ways to do it. The homepage, you can target like a specific keyword, like say you're only fencing, then you only do fences, then you could use fence contractor or fence company as the main keyword for the homepage. It's going to be easiest to rank the homepage because most of your links go to the homepage. All your citations go to the homepage. So if you're just a fence company, you could do that. If you don't, and you're like this company and you do all kinds of stuff, then it's best to, you know, keep it generic. You don't need a ton of content on the homepage. You can talk about who you are, but leave that mainly for the About Us page. Listing out your services is what we like to do. So give them an idea of what you do, and then link from those, from each individual service to the actual service page. That'll tell Google, and basically tell Google that, you know, say you're like, all right, I do vinyl fences. That'll if you tell them you do vinyl fences and you link from that homepage where it says vinyl fence to the vinyl fence page, that'll tell Google like this is where everything related to vinyl fence should go. So it's all right to put all the services you offer to make sure they link to the corresponding pages. Hope that answers it. I know you're just, I think you're just, no, you did some other stuff here. So yeah, I would keep it more generic in your example. I would really push like Deck Builder, and those other services, and put the bulk of the content on those individual pages, and that'll help you out. All right, so I think that, yep, no problem. I think that this is a good one to go through because they're doing a lot of stuff. It just needs to be refined. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of what I personally, I don't know, I guess I'm a little bit biased, but I just like to see pages that kind of pop a little bit more. I mean, this is nice here, but you know, you can tell, I would imagine this isn't done by an agency. Oh yeah, Thrive. Yeah. Got a lot of stories about them, but you just, you know, if it's a service page, somebody could be coming to this when they type that keyword in. So you want it to try and sell them on that page, you know, have everything they need to see, the phone number, the contact form, the right amount of info, nice images, testimonials, you know, each page should look right. And this is just, you know, really easy. I can just tell with agencies, there's a lot that do it like this, but ours are going to be, you know, a little bit more custom and look nicer. So that's what I would recommend with that. I think unless somebody else has a website they want to go through, I'll go back to the rest of the slides. I'm pretty much done here. So we've been going through SEO obviously, but I wanted to show you because like I said in the beginning, SEO is just an opportunity. So it's not the only thing you should be doing. It does depend on where you are with your business and how many leads you need, but SEO by itself usually is what I recommend. The problem is it takes time. You know, it's going to take many months to get to that point if you're starting from nothing. If you already have a foundation, like Sam, I think if you fix your website, you already have pretty solid reviews. You'll need more, but you can definitely work with your SEO with a new website and get better results for sure. And maybe Ryan's Property, I just didn't see that website, but SEO should just be, you know, the main thing I would recommend everybody doing. It's the best long-term play. It's going to be the cheapest leads and the most leads. But there's different things you can utilize, you know, press releases. That's kind of like link building. You can use those to get more links quicker. Google ads, Google local services ads, So Google ads are your pay-per-click. You click at the top and you get charged for it. We were talking about that in the earlier. Local services ads are a great foundation for fencing specifically. Decking, they've been really iffy. But fencing, they get a great cost per lead, and you got to be careful with these. There's steps that you need to take with these to not ruin your ads, basically. And like if you're not picking up the calls in the beginning, you can screw up your whole campaign. So you need to make sure you have like an answering service or somebody that's on top of it. But there's little things that you have to do to optimize them. I've done a webinar on this in the past, so you can check it out on our website. Social media, same thing. All of these, I think I've done a separate, at least one separate webinar for it, so you can kind of get an idea of each individual one. But all of these work well, and they help you just become omnipresent. So people need to see your brand. Best well-known is going to be best every time. Somebody that's like the world's best deck builder or fence contractor, they could be ranked #1 in the world, and then you put them next to a guy that knows SEO. And I know there's other ways outside of digital marketing, but you put them next to a new guy that's really good with SEO. They might not get the best result, and they might get some bad criticism, but I can promise you they're going to get more leads. There's just no way they won't. So that's what I always like to focus on is, becoming better, more well-known. I do it the same thing with my agency. I'm always doing videos. If anyone's seen them, I post pretty much everywhere, the webinars, the podcasts. The more people know you, the better off they're going to trust you, subconsciously, and then, want to reach out to you and, build that trust consciously later on. So really important to do that. And all of these can work together to build and get more leads. There's no reason this can't turn into, a $10 million company just from this type. As long as you're doing good work, you don't want to ruin your reputation, but we've seen it can happen for sure. If you have questions, additional questions, anything like that, and if you want to rank #1, feel free to reach out. Go through our website, deckfencemarketers.com, and we can talk to you about this. And we do custom plans. We get an understanding of your business and what's actually going to work and get you to where you want to go. It's not the same thing for everybody. So we understand that people are in different areas, so some marketing is needed, whereas sometimes it's not. So that's what we like to figure out. We like to do audits like I showed you to figure that out and give you a customized plan. So feel free to reach out through the website or give us a call. And like I said, we have the podcast. If you want to see that, I just did an interview last Tuesday with a client that I think is really awesome, and that's what we're going to be pushing towards. If you want to be on the podcast, let me know. Just shoot me an email, and check out our social media. All of these are covered. We're going to be doing a post every single day. I think we're pretty much there now. So check those out, and you can get some free information that are like a 1 minute long, because I know everybody digests things differently. So pretty much every form of content is what you can get through podcast, webinar, social media, and check out the website. So any questions, let me know. I hope this provided value to everybody. And let me know if there's anything else you need, and I'll see you on the next one. We'll do another one here next month. We already got scheduled. We'll send out some emails shortly in a couple weeks, so you can hop on that, and we'll be doing a whole new topic. But thanks, everybody. That's all I have for you today. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week and great 2024.